Hi, this is the Food and Beverage Purchasing Doc. I've been lucky enough to have a very long career in food and beverage, restaurants, everything from fast food, white glove, and everything in between. And what I've found over the years is that there's a lot behind in the context of food costs, let's say. Food cost is the lifeblood of any operation. It'll either make you or break you. And there are many, many folks on the internet, YouTube especially, that help and teach folks how to calculate a food cost, teach them how to work a menu engineering spreadsheet, how to utilize recipe costing, and all the things that go together into doing the calculations and the mechanical approach to food cost. What I've found, however, over the years is that there are many, many little nuances of things that are done every day in your operation that actually contribute tremendously to food cost. Product, for instance, is something that I found that even some of the best operators don't really understand grade quality and how to buy from a grade quality standpoint, etc. Then there, of course, are what I call the games people play, and that is little trickery kind of stuff that goes on from your distributor for them to be able to extract the best price out of your pocketbook as they can. Some are relatively innocent and just a way of doing business. Others, not so much. And it really depends, not necessarily on the brand. It doesn't matter if it's Cisco US Foods, Gordon, PFG, Benny Keith, McLean. I mean, I can go on and on. That the games can vary location to location, and they also vary in intensity based on sales attitude, market by market. But the games are pretty much the same, however, when they are played across the board. There was a situation one time. I was lucky enough to work for a large private club company, and one of the regional staff there was an executive chef that over the years had really gained tremendous popularity and prestige amongst the chef community in the state, well, in Houston specifically, but then in the state of Texas. This gentleman was classically trained in France. He went up the ranks the right way, the way people had to go through the different stages of growth and mentoring under some of the finest chefs in Paris. He made his way to the United States, started in Washington, D.C., in a upscale hotel environment, and finally found his way to Houston for this private club company. I was holding a cutting with a prospective seafood supplier, and he was trying to show us how, by giving us audit privileges, and not just audit privileges financially, but product-wise, and keeping them honest that way, that we would see a tremendous difference in not just the quality that we presented to our members, but financial quality as well. They brought 3 head off, tail off yellowfin tuna, and these animals were 100 pounds each, huge fish, and basically plopped them on a prep table in the kitchen of one of our larger clubs, and brought their cutter with them. And this gentleman, his name was Ricky, just started going at it, slashing. I've never seen someone handle a knife as well as this gentleman. He brought the fish down to loin and laid the 3 loins out in front of us, and went on to explain how the quality of each of those are determined when the fish were being bought on the dock. And there, of course, was number one, which is considered sushi grade. Number two, which was pretty much able to use in cooked meals, but but actually you could even use them as in ceviche because they're clean enough. But again, it was mostly a product that you would use in a cooked dish. But then the last one is three, grade three, and that has to be a well done cooked item that would do on a flat grill, maybe for a tuna sandwich or a grilled tuna plate or something like that. Because of the bacteria count, you had to make sure everything was cooked. You didn't have to burn it, but you certainly had to bring it to temperature and make sure all the bacteria was killed. When the question came up that when you order number two tuna loin, what do you get? And so he pointed to the middle one, of course, and I looked at the chef next to me and said, well, that's pretty much what you get, right? From our current supplier. And he just looked at me and he was like, no, it's between that and that, but it's not pristine like that. And the significant difference in cost between sushi grade, of course, grade 2 and grade 3 is incredibly significant, like buying different species almost. And that right then and there told me that learning about product quality and what the industry discerns and makes that particular product type quality was something that was going to be important to me. So I was lucky to learn a lot about that stuff, and we're going to bring you videos once a week, every Monday morning. We're going to post them at 5 a.m. Central Time for you folks that start early in the morning and come into your operation and like to sit down with a cup of coffee and go over the numbers from the night before. Hopefully, maybe we can entertain you a little bit in the morning, and who knows, you may actually even learn something. So we're asking to please subscribe to our channel, of course, but we would very much appreciate you liking this video if you felt it was worthwhile, and we'd also appreciate you sharing it with anybody you think would enjoy it as well. Welcome to Let's Get Personal. As you know, this section is just little quips about how a person may define themselves as a professional. And it's kind of my suggestion for guys and gals that are new in the industry that, are wanting to be good at what they do and climb the ladder maybe. What I've noticed is that over the years, some things that were considered common courtesy just seems to have fallen by the wayside. And to me, yeah, I know, an old guy, and things change and so on. But holding a door for a lady, for instance, when and will that ever go out of style? That's wrong. If you let a woman trying to struggle with her stroller to get into the store and you just look at her and walk by, that kind of is wrong. Well, in my opinion, it's absolutely wrong, but okay. As far as professionals, there's a gentleman on YouTube. He's very well known and very good at what he does, quite honestly. And we opened a conversation to talk to him about potentially co-marketing for a purchasing aspect to what he does. And didn't know if it was a good fit or not. It was just a stab, whatever. And I got a response, a very stringent response. Gotta make sure you respond via calendar so we can, that kind of thing. When all I was looking for is just a 30-second conversation. But okay, all right. I decided I went with the program and did what I was asked to do and whatever. And the conversation, I thought, went fairly well. His response was that many of his subscribers wanted to always answer the question, am I getting the correct deal? Am I getting the best prices from my broadline distributor, for instance? And our program which is a whole nother topic, and we'll do that later on, uh, can help independents in that exact situation. And so we left it to where he was going to get back to us. Well, he didn't. And okay, that's fine. And I went and looked on his website and whatever, and he found somebody who was a friend of his or whatever, and they went at it in their own direction. It's not the same of what we were proposing, but it doesn't matter. You know, I guess my point is, in the past, it would be that person would email or pick up the phone or whatever and say, you know what, I enjoyed our conversation. It reminded me that there is something that needed to be done. And unfortunately, we decided to go in a different direction. That would have been professional. But no, it was handled like I walked away thinking there's a touch of arrogance there that really shouldn't have been there. It didn't need to be there. So if you're going to really want to grow in whatever industry you're in, return emails, return phone calls, and show the respect of answering people, even if you know there is absolutely nothing in it for you. Show the respect. When I was a head of purchasing for a major corporation, everybody wanted to get to me. Everybody. I was managing $25 to $30 million worth of business. Everybody. And I got to be honest, I never turned away a phone call. I never. Now, would I turn away a request to visit? Yeah, I would talk to them. And if it was something that didn't work, then yeah, I would say, you know what, thank you, but honestly, it's not something that's going to work for us. Answer them. Thank you. Y'all have a great week. I hope you will subscribe to my channel, share it with other folks that may be interested, and go ahead and click that like button if you don't mind. Talk to you next week.